Hey there, it is Sunday morning, and I don't know, about an hour and a half ago, I posted the first of the build videos in a new series. I haven't done a series on my main channel in a very long time, but like I said in the last video on this channel, I'm at least for this project anyway, switching up to that, because it's a very large and complex build that takes a lot of steps to get to the end. Now, I already did a CNC build, well, actually two of them in one video. But you don't get the detail. You simply cannot provide the detail that, let's be honest, most people don't want, but some people do. So I'm trying to, heading into retirement here, slowing things down and not making as many videos. I'm trying to cater more to the people that are long-term viewers, fans of the channel, people that have stuck with me over the years and want to see the kind of detail that you can put into a video. Okay. So the first one, like I'm touching what's done of the CNC right now. You can't see it. I'm not showing it. From now on, I'm not showing any of the completed, what's done already of the CNC in these videos. You'll have to wait until the next video in the series on my main channel. And if you haven't watched that video, there's a link to it in the description, and also there will be a link at the end of this video in the card. You can go there and look at that. Now, I posted that video this morning, but then immediately I went downstairs to the old metal cutting CNC, it's months old. Man, the thing I've got, I completely lose respect for the machines that I made after they're made. I love them, and I'm very careful and considerate and, treating them like king while I'm building them. But then after that, on to the new thing. So that differentiates me from some other people, I guess. But yeah, I went down and I cut out the next part that I need for the CNC, and I'll show it. It's this plate right here. This is 1/8 inch, and it's got a ton of holes in there. It's like Swiss cheese already with the holes. And that's the reason why you want to do it on the CNC, because the CNC will make these holes perfectly placed and perfectly sized. Well, maybe not perfectly sized, because there's no such thing in our existence as perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. So very close to perfect. Let's put it that way. A lot more close than I can get with the drill press and doing it by hand. All right. Now I can get it very accurate, but it would take hours, basically. First of all, I have to lay out each one individually, very carefully center punch them, then very carefully check to make sure my center punch is on that precise mark, and then drill it out and deal with the consequences if I'm off a little bit, because you can see these holes are very small and they're all over the place. So yeah, it's, okay, you watch on YouTube, there's lots of machining videos where people are using mills, manual mills and lathes and stuff like that. So what's the difference between that and the CNC? Well, the CNC has a computer. In the manual milling world, the operator is the computer. He's running the mill. So there's really no difference, except he's looking at the dial on the wheel to line up the coordinates properly, or he's got a DRO. So it's basically the same thing. You're basically doing the same thing, except the computer is locating the operations and running through them all. Okay? I'm not going to say that this is harder to do than manual milling. I know it's faster. I know that for certain. But that's the difference. I mean, people look at CNC and say, oh, well, you don't have any talent. You're not doing anything because the machine is doing it all. Well, the manual milling is basically the same thing. It's just technique and procedure that you're following to do the same thing that a CNC would do kind of automatically. But with a CNC, you need to know the modeling software. I'm using FreeCAD to model all the parts and also produce the tool paths for all this. And you need to educate yourself on how all this works as well, because it's not as easy as it appears. Okay? You break end mills because you make mistakes. You do all kinds of stupid stuff, and you learn from that, very much like you do from anything else. So anyway, this plate, like I did this morning because I have to get the rest of the metal parts that need to be cut on that CNC down there made so that I can actually start taking that CNC apart to reuse the parts for this. Now, not a lot of them are being reused, but the big one is the control box that I built with all the motor controllers in there, the breakout board and the power supply and all that. That's what I need to have out here to go really any further with this, because this needs to be hooked up to that to operate, so I can dial it in and get all that done. But it's definitely not ready for cutting anything yet, so I need to get all these parts made before I do that. And yeah, this one, and then there's, I think, three more pieces that I need to make that make up the Z-axis. Okay? And I'll be able to take that old CNC apart and transfer the guts up here. So like I said, I posted the video this morning. I doubt very much that it will do well. It isn't doing well to begin with. Yeah, but I'm not concerned. That is the least of my concerns these days, okay? I put out the video. If people watch it, they watch it. If they don't, that's fine, okay? I'm not stressing over views or any of that anymore. It is what it is. It does what it does. And I'm sure the regular viewers will watch it. Doubt any new ones will. Like I said many times before, that's a problem with older channels, especially if they don't engage in the clickbait stuff. You know, right now when you upload a video on YouTube, I said this several years ago, they give you A/B testing for titles, 3 titles you can choose to try to pick the best one, and 3 thumbnails, 3 thumbnail images you can pick from for, you know, to try to get people to click on the video. And this is stuff I said years ago, and that was the way it is. So that's the rise of clickbait. You know, it was always there, but it's especially there now. And YouTube is fully acknowledging it. They're even giving you tools to do it. Clickbait up your video so that people will click on it. Because clicking on videos is good for YouTube as well, not only for the creator, right? More ad revenue is more ad revenue for the creator and for YouTube. So yeah, anyway, so the other problem with my channel, doing technical stuff like this, that's not specifically related to woodworking, is my lack of geek appeal. I gotta say, I mean, this is pretty obvious anyway, that most of these channels that do this kind of technical work have a huge following of technically minded people, otherwise known as nerds or geeks. And they're very fussy, very picky, very, usually insecure, sometimes. But they're drawn to people that look like them, that act like them, you know, that are geeky like them, nerds, fellow nerds is what they're drawn to. And I don't look like that. I don't act like that. Okay, I'm too confident, too cocky, and that doesn't wash with the with the average geek. You know, I don't look like their friend. I look like the guy that beat them up in high school. It's true. My lack of geek appeal is working against me here, and that's probably one of the reasons why views would be low on this. And they have been low on the other stuff that I've done outside of woodworking. Okay? Other than, you know, years ago when I was making knives and stuff like that, like this knife right here. This is a project on my main channel. This is a knife that I still use and have, and is still razor sharp, even though I've used this as well. It's all gummed up with aluminum from cutting through the things. Yeah, this is made from a drill bit, made from a 3/8 inch drill bit, glued into the handle is kind of interesting because this is, what's the name of the wood? Sumac. Yeah. I had some sumac trees growing in the backyard. Not here, though. This was like back at my house before this. I cut down one of the sumac trees that had a trunk of about that big, which is about all you're going to get from a sumac around here anyway. And I let it dry out, and I made a few things with it, and this is one of them. Very interesting looking wood, kind of greenish, and the grain is nice. I like it. Too bad you can't get bigger pieces from it. Okay, what else did I make with sumac? I made a butterfly knife completely from wood. And I made that into a kind of a contest that somebody won the knife, and I sent it off to them. I never heard from it again. I sent it off to the guy, and no thank you, or anything like that. No big deal. Anyway, so yeah, sumac, nice wood. Knife, one of the many that I made, and I don't have any here right now, but yeah, I've made lots of stuff like that. This video got a lot of views. The other videos I made, you know, ninja stars and stuff like that. All that stuff was possible back in the day when there wasn't like a wash of content coming down. When you look at your feed, you see a video for like 1/10 of a second. It's there and it's gone because, you know, it's being washed away by all the other crap that's coming down. So, yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me belly aching, if you could call it that. And I'm going to get back to this. And hopefully, next Sunday, I'll have this second video in this series ready to post. I'm not making any promises, though, because, you know, I don't want people to be disappointed. Okay, when I don't get the video put up. You know, the 30 or 40 people that are going to watch the video, I don't want them to be disappointed.
Why don't you go chase an asteroid?
Hey, Janice, is that for me?
Don't you wish it was?
How about that? Yeah, how'd you like to have her as your own personal yeoman?